Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. Bong from another headlines as usual.
Prime Minister chairs government meeting for February. Vietnam welcomes dialogue between Ukraine and Russia. Sun Group launches first luxury airline in Vietnam.
Prime Minister thăm presided over the government's February meeting in Hanoi on March the 3rd. A report at the meeting showed that in February and the first 2 months of 2022, the country saw positive results in socio-economic development. The report underlined that unpredictable and complicated developments in the world political economic situation, such as the Russia-Ukraine tension or rising oil prices, have put remarkable impacts on the domestic situation. Addressing the meeting, Prime Minister Chinh noted that despite the achievements in the first 2 months of this year, Vietnam is facing numerous risks such as inflation pressure, considerable instability in export market, and unforeseeable changes in the world situation, as well as great losses due to natural disasters. According to the government leader, difficulties and challenges will be greater than advantages and opportunities in the months to come, with many unpredictable factors. Therefore, he stressed ministries, sectors and localities should continue drastically implementing measures to maintain macroeconomic stability, prevent pandemic, and deal with international complicated developments. We have more news coming up next. Let's take a look. The 12th Security Cooperation Conference between Vietnam and Laos took place in Vientiane on March 3rd under the co-chair Vietnamese Deputy Minister of Public Security, Senior Lieutenant General Luong Tam Quang, and his Lao counterpart, Senior Lieutenant General Công Thong Phong Vichet. At the conference, the two sides agreed to maintain the effective implementation of existing cooperation mechanisms and step up information sharing and coordination in addressing impact of non-traditional security threats that affect ties between two countries. They also pledged to closely coordinate at international and regional security cooperation forums and ensure security for major events to be held in Vietnam and Laos in the coming time. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs held a regular press briefing in Hanoi on March the 3rd. During the press briefing, spokesperson Lê Thị Thu Hằng informed about evacuation of Vietnamese people in Ukraine until noon of March 3rd. Accordingly, most of the Vietnamese settling in Kiev and Odessa and hundreds of people in Kharkov, Ukraine, have been evacuated from the war zones and relocated to neighboring countries, including more than 400 people to Moldova, 600 to Poland, and dozens of others to Romania, Slovakia, and Hungary. Regarding the ongoing dialogue between Ukraine and Russia, the spokesperson said Vietnam welcomes the dialogue and hopes that the sides will soon find long-term peaceful solutions to differences in line with international law, with legitimate rights and interests of the concerned parties being taken into account. The spokeswoman said Vietnam supports and calls on international community to further facilitate the dialogue and increase donations and humanitarian aid for civilians. Also at the briefing, the spokeswoman announced that Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham will attend the special high-level ASEAN-US meeting slated for Washington in the coming time at the invitation of US President Joe Biden. Real estate and entertainment firm Sun Group has launched its Sun Air, the first luxury airline in Vietnam, providing private jet management and air charter services and sightseeing flights using helicopters and seaplanes.
Sun Air targets high-class customers requiring high-standard services. It aims to become a global private jet airline using aircraft with the highest speed in the world. Creates charter flights and sightseeing services using helicopters and seaplanes. Sun Air will connect Sun Group's resort entertainment real estate products to form the first closed, safe, luxurious, and private service in Vietnam. In the third quarter of 2022, Sun Air will operate 2 Gulfstream G650ER jets. In the 2023-2025 period, the airline plans to use 4 Gulfstream G650ER, one Gulfstream G700, one helicopter and 2 seaplanes.
In the first 2 months of this year, Vietnam pocketed some $8 billion from agricultural exports, increased by nearly 21% against the same period last year.
Export posting high growth included coffee, rice, pepper, shellfish, shrimp, and wood and timber products. Meanwhile, tea, vegetables, and cashew nuts saw a slight decrease. The U.S. remains Vietnam's biggest buyer, purchasing over $2.3 billion worth of the products, or 28.2% of the total. Some 70% of exports to the U.S. were wood and timber products. It was followed by China in the second and Japan in the third place. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is now focusing efforts on gaining broader access for Vietnamese exports to major markets such as Peru, Australia, Brazil, China, and the U.S.
The coastline from Cam Xuyên district to Loc Han district in the central province of Hà Tĩnh is now bustling with fishing vessels setting out to sea or returning to the dock full of seafood. The first trips of the new year have brought fortune to Hà Tĩnh fishermen.
From the beach in Thịnh Lộc commune in Loc Ha district, fishermen set out at midnight and return at sunrise. In these few short hours, fishermen Phan Nông and many others catch tons of herring and flounder. As soon as their boat docks, traders are waiting to buy. Each trip can bring a fisherman nearly $70.
Each member of our team caught 50 kilograms of fish yesterday, earning around $80.
At the salt fishing port in Loc Ha district, more than 10 fishing boats from Hà Tĩnh and nearby Thanh Hóa and Nghệ An provinces have caught huge volumes of anchovies over the past 3 days. On Wednesday alone, many ships caught dozens of tons.
After a 3-day voyage, we caught 15 tons of fish. Minus our cost, we earned some $3,000. The Port Management Board is working closely with local authorities to create the best possible conditions for fishermen to unload their catch conveniently and safely.
The first voyages of the new year returning full of seafood is considered a sign of fortune to come, which encourages the fishermen to venture out once more to develop local economy.
A cultural and musical event has been held at Ca' Foscari University of Venice, Italy, featuring various performances by students who learn Vietnamese language at the Department of Asian and North African Studies.
Addressing the event named Vietnam Soul, Vietnamese ambassador to Italy, Nguyễn Thị Bích Huệ, said she was happy to attend an event reflecting remarkable progress of Italian students in Vietnamese proficiency and understanding of Vietnamese culture. She highly spoke of the creativity in teaching and learning Vietnamese language at Ca' Foscari University of Venice and the love for Vietnam of Italian students. Vietnamese language has been taught in the Italian universities since 2018. The university is considering to open a postgraduate course on Vietnamese language studies. The performances, directed by Lê Thị Bích Hương, a Vietnamese lecturer, were taken to the stage by first 2 third-year students who do not want to learn Vietnamese just from books, but also from traditional cultures.
9 tourist destinations in Ho Chi Minh City have recently been allowed to welcome international visitors under pilot program, according to the Municipal Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism. The chosen destinations were hotspots prior to the pandemic. They include museums such as the War Remnants Museum and the South Vietnamese Women's Museum in District 3, the History Museum in District 1, the Ho Chi Minh Museum in District 4, and the Outside Museum in Thủ Đức City. The Central Post Office, Saigon Sky Deck, Củ Chi Tunnels, and the Rừng Sắc Cần Giờ Base Historic Site are also readying to welcome foreigners. The city plans to welcome 3.5 million international tourists and 25 million domestic ones this year. After the government decided to open door for international guests from March 15th, the city's tourism sector is speeding up preparations and built many new products to serve tourists. A collection of 10 yellow apricot trees, including one more than 100 years old, belonging to a man in the Mekong province of Đông Tháp, has set a world record for its unique values, which is the rare win for Vietnam in the field of ornamental trees.
The great patient Vũ Đức Đông, born in 1972 in Sa City, has spent decades and over $870,000 on creating and caring for his 10 special trees. Freshly accredited by the World Records Union or World Kings, his collection features a 2-meter tall tree, more than 100 years old, whose trunk is all inlaid with the words Tuệ Sam, the names of Dom's parents. Its 9 roots rising above the ground represent images of 9 dragons.
Among my trees breaking records, Tuệ Sam hosts the most. They are Vietnam records, Indochina records, Viet World records, Asia records, and world records.
Dom's collection includes his Tuệ Sam yellow apricot tree and 9 other apricot trees, each of which has a unique appearance and story.
Each tree in Dom's collection is unique. In particular, the 100-year-old Tuệ Sam tree is his most creative. I have owned 14 record-breaking ornamental plants, holding 19 Vietnamese, regional, and world records.
Along with the yellow apricot trees, Dom's speaker's Pistol Kappa trees hold Vietnam and Asia records, while his speaker's Malacca Kappa and peach trees hold Vietnam records. His ornamental trees are not only a great source of pleasure for Dom, but also contribute to honoring all Vietnamese trees.
And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching. See you next time.